Welcome, flip clock fans. We're looking at a Timex flip clock. That's unusual. You don't see a lot of Timex flip clocks. We have one here today in Flip Clock Fan Studios. And take a close look at it. It's got some history to it too. The Timex Model 5102-401. It appeared in newspapers first in 1979, and it was a reasonably priced clock back in the day, 1980. But by 1981, we got this advertisement here. Now look at this. We've got the clock here, obviously, and it's right beside one of these Seiko's, the Seiko's wristwatches, which are collectible these days. Now the Wilson basketball for $10. And it's curious, a comparable basketball cost about the same today, which is strange. It's interesting. But check this out, the Coleco Dukes of Hazzard Power Cycle, 1776. Well, today you can get one for 10 times more, but wait, that's just the box. If you want a new in-box Dukes of Hazzard Coleco big wheel, it's $3,500. But you know, looking at all these things, I'm still glad that I'm into flip clocks. Much cooler. Here's the Model 5102-403. That's the wood grain version. And the clock we're looking at, the white version, was in the movie The Paper. The Paper is a 1994 American comedy drama film directed by Ron Howard and starring Michael Keaton, Glenn Close, Randy Quaid. Now, I tried to watch the movie, and I apologize, but I had a hard time watching it. It just wasn't clicking with me. But there you see it. It's toward the end of the movie. The clock's there on the nightstand. And you know, when you think of these things, these are things that the director's got set up in there. There's a reason for it, and I appreciate it. In 1994, he put up a 1981 clock. And, you know, I just noticed, if you see on the back side of that clock, honestly, I just noticed there's missing the alarm knob. And I'm going to show you later in the video. I'll show you why that might be missing. There's the numbers, got the little dot there by the hours, and Japan on 00. I made a video about that if you wanted to watch the whole thing, about how I determined what clock that was. What things we could have saved and made big money on back in the day. And here we go. We've got the clock here. It's a nice looking clock, I think. It's got some problems, and you see it's missing the Timex badge. You're going to notice online that a lot of them are missing that. I'm going to talk about that. This faceplate's got some issues, and our knobs are not going to come off. I'm going to use this opportunity to plug one of my favorite tools for flip clocks, and I don't get paid for this, by the way. And that's Gorilla Tape. I'm serious. Gorilla Tape is very handy when you're working on your flip clock. I use it when I'm making videos and stuff to hold back cords and stuff like that. But here's how I'm going to remove this faceplate. But it's an interesting way they put that in there. See, I can gently bend that and get that out. And when I put it back, I'm going to do the opposite. Gently bend it and get it right in there. No harm, no foul. I do that also with a Copal 227. I could show you that sometime. But the knobs here, now, when I first started messing with flip clocks, I used to use, say, like a butter knife or a piece of metal or something, and then like a paper towel to avoid marring the case. And if you look at flip clocks like I do, I've seen a lot of flip clocks. There's evidence where people have done that to try to get things off. They mar it up. But I came across this technique. I tried to patent it, and they said, that's ridiculous. You can't patent a technique like this. I didn't try. But this is the way I do it. I put some tape on there, and I use this this last strip here, this third strip, to make sure it's adhered down real nicely. And you can really get a grip on these knobs, and it comes off so easy once you do that. Now, you can't use regular duct tape. You can use T-Rex tape, but I'm a fan of Gorilla Tape. All right, now this is another brand, another model of Timex, and it's got its badge on there. We're going to steal that badge. And it's got a nice faceplate. So that badge there is going to be on this clock. But you can see why it might not have stayed on, because they didn't put a lot of glue on there. Now, I'm not going to say this is going to work all the time, and I'll just be honest with you. A lot of times it doesn't work at all. I'm just going to give it a whirl to see if I can get this off. Now, I've tried everything to get badges off before, and you end up well, you end up nicking them and messing them up. So we're going to see if Gorilla Tape will come to the rescue here. Just trying to get it on the badge there. Comes right off. Now look at that. Whatever guy's job it was to put the glue on there, I mean, somebody needs to talk to him, but it helped me out today. So I'll get something on there. Hopefully this won't mess up the lettering here. Absolutely not. It's perfect. We've got us a nice little badge. It's worth getting the clock just for that badge. And we're going to take that faceplate off because that's in good shape. Now look at this. This is a side issue too. Look at that. What do you think caused that? It's like it's like a dog chewed it. Like a pit bull got a hold of it. Or a German shepherd. Nope. That's not what it was. It was this. So years ago, someone stored this clock just like this. I don't know how long it takes for this to react like that. But these cords will melt the plastic. Now, not all plastics. You see here where that's melted that on there. It's crazy. Who would have known? Someone stored this and they ruined the clock. I know you've seen this online before. And even this clock has evidence of it, but only on the black plastic. So it's a certain type of plastic formulation that'll react against those cords. Now we're looking at this and we're thinking about how I'm going to take it apart. There's that alarm set on the back there. I'll start with that. Now, a lot of times you get a clock, you're not sure how to take it off. You just start pulling. This comes off in a special way, just like that. You see how I did that? Pull it straight back. Now, of course, I didn't know that when I first started working with this clock. I had to figure that out. When you put it back on, you want to make sure that lever is up. You see the catches there? And you're going to push it in. So it took me a while to figure that out. But that's what we're here for. FlipClockFans.com. We'll take them apart, help you get them back together. See, now that's why that clock probably doesn't have one of those on that movie. So I'm going to take this clock apart. There's a trick to it. And whoever took this clock apart first messed up one of the tabs. I'll show you that in a second. So you lift up like this. You're going to lift up and then pull back just slightly, but you want to turn it upside down. And the reason is that sleep button there wants to catch. Now when I reassemble, see, someone broke that tab off. When I reassemble, I'm going to do it the opposite in a way. So we'll get this in here. The snooze alarm. The little tabs there, it only fits one way. But all it does is just drop down in there. It doesn't stick. It just drops down in there. So when I assemble it, if I assemble it upside down, that button doesn't get in my way. Once it clears the little button on the inside there, it's fine. There's just a little trick might help you out if you got one of these. I'll learn the hard way for you. See how I took that apart? You just turn it upside down. It comes off a lot easier. Trial and error. Assembled in Singapore with Japan parts. There's our little lever. Just a simple little plastic lever. Could pull off, could break. You got to be careful with that. So you can see here, you see where that case is, it looks like a crack, but look, it follows that line. So I'm pretty sure someone had a cord around here too, but it didn't mess up the white plastic. So if we look at the black version here, it doesn't have a snooze, it's a different model. But you see where the cord was resting up against the black there? It was already starting to do that. There it is again. I'm sure they didn't know this, and gosh knows how long it took. It might have taken 10 years to do that, who knows? And on this one, the cord doesn't make a mark on the white at all there. Different formulation, obviously. It's just curious. You could sand it down, I guess. I'm not that good to where I could fix that. So I'm going to steal this faceplate here, just like we did on the other. Just sort of a little review there. Now you can't reuse the tape. For some reason, it only works once. But that's good. I don't want it that sticky. So that's the Timex 5101-312. It's got some interchangeable parts, as you saw, for the 5102 version. So there it is. It's actually a movie clock. We know now, it's in the paper. There's our little alarm button. Nice looking little clock. I like it. The Timex Model 5102-401. Well, thanks for taking the time.